Shalom. First off, I want to start by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem HaKadosh. So all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect preaching his word in truth and sincerity. And the brother Tazabah, the Great Millstone, Arizona Camp, Lord will, with another video to edify. And start off with this copyright disclaimer under Title 17 USC Section 107. Allowance is made for fair use for the purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So we're going to get into this. What you got to understand is the Lord is about to close this thing up. Go sit down. The Lord is about to close this thing up. Being out here preaching and prophesying to the people, that thing is coming to the end. All right? And I got a couple things I want to grab to bring you to that point, because this is what it is. Famine of the word is on the way. All right? Get as much of this word as you can to put oil into your lamps. You got to be ready for this time. And it's a real game. And for everybody else that's, playing around, not taking it serious, for you out there that is watch these videos for entertainment purposes and don't really get into this thing, the day is coming where you're going to wish that you could have got it. So let's play this. Let's get into it, and Lord will it be edifying.
Securely. Under the terms of this deal, TikTok will be owned by a majority of American investors and controlled by a board of directors with extensive national security and cybersecurity credentials. In partnership with the U.S. government, Oracle will serve as TikTok's trusted security provider, and they will independently monitor the safety and data security of all U.S. user data on TikTok's platform. Americans' data will be stored securely in the United States without access from China. All U.S. user data will be stored on servers operated by Oracle in the United States.
And you know what's crazy is what she just said right there went over a good amount of people's heads, because the U.S. government isn't supposed to be able to collect data on you. That's a breach of privacy. So you got a government agency taking over a private industry, and they even telling you straight up, we're going to collect your data.
Protected from surveillance or interference by foreign adversaries, and the algorithm, I know this is a question many of you have had, will be secured, retrained, and operated in the United States outside of ByteDance's control. And TikTok will remain globally interoperable, meaning TikTok users in the U.S. will be able to see videos posted by users in other countries and vice versa. Under the terms of this deal, TikTok...
And there you go. They just took over the algorithm. A lot of videos came out on TikTok. A lot of the showing of Esau's wickedness went out on TikTok. All right? There's a lot of folly there. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of shit niggas just get on there and for purpose of having clickbait, they put all this stuff in there that they didn't fact check and act like it was real. One of those things I could say for sure was a whole shit about Trump taking away tax returns for women that are on that have their fathers on child support. That was false, right? So, but at the end of the day, they're putting up the algorithm. They're telling you they're going to retrain it, and the major thing that they said they wanted to retrain it for is to be able to sit here and censor anti-sim, anything that goes against them small hats. Now, I wanted to get this as well, right? To, add some insult to that injury. And you see that, you know that nigga right there on the right in this picture. You know that's a small hat right there. Right? Now, but it says, I put in who are the two American investors, because they're not both American investors, they're just small hats with dual citizenship. It says, based on reports from last September 2025, it isn't a simple answer. Just two American investors who bought TikTok instead. A consortium, right? They have all consorted with one consent. Let's get that. This is where is it at? Salakia. Psalms 83 and 2. Lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. And how in the hell does a Japanese company just get, or a Chinese, Japanese, whatever it is, company just get bombarded and taken over when it's one of the most popular apps in the world by two American niggas? Because they all had, by two so-called American niggas, they all had a Confederate. They were all Confederate in this. It says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And all this is a framework to be able to come down on the truth. Because just niggas bulling out news articles on TikTok ain't enough. But when you start pulling out these devil's actions in the Bible, and people start watching those videos and questioning the legitimacy of those small hats in the land now, mixed in with how they're moving and all the information that bros bring out that get reposted and reposted and reposted, this is when they have to come together. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance, for they have consulted. Then it's talking about a consortium, right? They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And this is what you're seeing, right? So it says a consortium of investors was assembled to take over the U.S. operations of TikTok from its Chinese parent company, ByteDance, right? Now it says Larry Ellison, co-founder, executive chairman, Michael Diehl, Rupert Murdoch, and that's a small hat name. Now, when you go down, it says Oracle, which is owned by a small hat company, Silver Lake, Anderson, or Andreessen's, Horowitz, that's a small hat, bro. And even when you go a little deeper, I pulled this up over here. Put who are the major owners of Alphabet Inc. And if you don't know, Alphabet Inc. is the one that owns YouTube, right? Larry Page, Sergey Brin are the controlling shareholders of Alphabet Inc. Small hatters, through institutional investors like Vanguard, BlackRock, hold a large percentage of total shares. This is possible due to Alphabet's multi-class stock structure, which grants its founders superior voting power. Now, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street Corporation, all owned by small hats. Now that you put this together with them sitting there trying to sit here and curb and go against and cut off anybody who speaks against some small hats, now you get to see the full picture. Right? What does it say in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter? This isn't no hit at the regular Americans. Nah, the Israelites are the real target. The ones out there bringing out the scriptures, showing you that these can't be the people. Those are the ones on the chopping block, and that's us. Wisdom of Solomon 2:1, it says, "For the ungodly said," this is the ungodly, reasoning within themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. Now I'm gonna jump down. It says, this is here it is, verse 11. It says, "Let our strength be the law of justice. Are they not changing the laws to be able to go against you? For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth." And the most feeble thing in America when it comes to the law are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You're at the bottom when it comes to this law coming against you, right? So because you can't stand up, in their mind, might is right, right? It says, "Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous And this is them lying in wait. This is them getting everything in line. You even had this one right here. It says Pentagon reports to only publish. Pentagon tells reporters to only publish what they approve. According to the Washington Post, the Pentagon has announced a new policy that will make it harder for journalists to do their job. Reporters who cover the Defense Department will now have to sign a pledge promising not to gather or publish any information, even if it's unclassified, unless it has been specifically approved for release by the Pentagon officials. Department of DOW remains committed to transparency to promote accountability and public trust. However, DOW, right, the Department of War, it used to be the Department of Defense, Department of War information must be approved from public release by an appropriate authorizing official before it's released, even if it is unclassified, reads the document. So they're getting ready to silence all free speech, right? And who uses it the most? The prophets. We tell you everything that the Lord's doing in this place. We go into depth of what these devils are doing, how they're operating, what's their next plans. They want to cut off that voice because the next plan in the game is to pull out this MOTB system and pull out a full-on lockdown throughout the states, right? Throughout the world, really. It says, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending of the law. And that's what we have done. We constantly go out and test these devils on what they're doing and whether or not it does fit up with righteousness. And it never does. It never does. From the small hatters causing trouble in the Middle East to these Edomites over here in America and abroad, all you devils are wicked and you offend. It says, and objective to our infamy, the transgression of our education, he professed to have the knowledge of the Most High and called himself the child of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. And that's what we do. He was made to reprove our thoughts. And that's why they're going to cut off the flow of this word, because we were made to reprove these devils' thoughts. At every turn where they think they got an outline and they got a way to push forward, the Spirit of the Lord gives them pushback. Because the scriptures tell you one kingdom shall be set up against one realm against another. So the heavens are fighting against this devil. And it's going through what? The prophets first. This is Amos 8 and 11. It says, behold, the days come, say Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And that's what's getting prepared. All this is letting you know that the crackdown is here, right? The crackdown is here. There was a time where it was like every time you mentioned E, right? We literally had to label every video that was talking about, the Idumeans, right? We had to label every video as E. We couldn't even say Edom. Couldn't even do it. We had to say E, sleazy. We have to come up with all type of shit, man. Or videos will get pulled down. The elders and apostles talk about time where they put up a video and it got tucked down right away. They make a channel, the channel get deleted right away. We're coming to the time where the Lord is going to pull this message off the airways, man. Right? It says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh and shall not find it. And that's the days we come into. It's really approaching fast. Right? This is, come on now. Isaiah 8 and 16, it says, bind up the testimony. And that's what the Lord is getting ready to do, is binding up the testimony. This thing isn't going to be easily gotten anymore, man. When you go to this word bind up in the Hebrew, right? It's tazarar. And it says to bind up, be narrow, be in distress, make narrow, cause distress, besiege, be strained, be bound up, to bind, tying up, shut up. Right? That's what the Lord is about to do. He's about to shut this thing up. So it says, bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. Right? So if you ain't been a true disciple of the Lord, if you ain't been a real listener, if you haven't taken heed, you ain't going to have nothing to draw on in these times, man. The Lord is about to bind up this testimony. The Lord said what? He's going to cause our, no. Let me get this. This is Ezekiel 3:26, and it says, and I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth. Talking about the prophets. No, I started 25. It says, but thou, son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee, and shall bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go out among them. And I will make thy tongue to cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. So Jake, they didn't want to get it. You know what? Well, the Lord is gonna shut us up. You wanted us to be quiet. You wanted the truth not to affect you. Well, guess what? The Lord is gonna shut us up. And when He does, and you on the outside waiting for this word, like we already got in Amos 8 and 11, then they're gonna go from sea to sea. Let's go back to that. Amos 8, it's verse 12 that we want. Amos 8 and 12, it says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh and shall not find it. And that's what's going to happen, because the scriptures say the word of the Lord was precious in those days, because there was no open vision. When the Lord closes this thing up, when He binds the testimony, like the scriptures has the parable about the wise and the foolish virgin. 5 are wise, 5 are foolish. Right? When there was a cry heard at midnight, when the hell started hitting, when it was known that, hey, the Lord is coming, right? The ones that were foolish, that just sat on their thumbs, partied and bullshit, right? And didn't prepare themselves, they started asking those that had the oil. You don't want to be in a position to have to ask for the oil. You got to already have it, right? And that comes through prayer, fasting if you got to, right? Self-reflection, and make sure you always evaluate yourself whether you're in the faith or not, right? Because this day is coming where, let me get this, this is 2 Exodus 5 and 8. It says, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and a fire shall be off sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and salt water shall be found in sweet, all hell breaking loose. Right? Your water defiled, all that, man. And all friends shall destroy one another. Right? Civil unrest. Right? Then shall wit hide itself. Then this understanding, we ain't gonna be out there when this shit is hitting the fan. Hell no. The scriptures tell you, blow you the trumpet, make everyone ready to the battle. Well, a trumpet blower back in the ancient world was on the watchtower. He gave the warning for a while, but then he went and took care of himself in his house. Well, we're in that same time. Well, we're in the days where we really focusing on shoring brothers up right now, man. And understand withdraw. It says, an understanding withdraw itself, talking about this truth. The understanding is going to withdraw itself. We ain't going to be out there in the open for you guys to be able to get easily too. Going on the comment board trying to figure, they gonna kill these channels that we got, man. It shall be sought of many. Right? That's when people really gonna be looking for this truth, and yet be not found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. That's when all hell is going to really break loose. One land shall ask another and say, Is righteousness that maketh a man righteous go through thee? And it shall say, No. At that time shall men hope. People going to start picking up these scriptures, acting like they can just get into this. Right? But nothing obtained. You ain't going to get nothing from that. Right? The Lord said it himself. It says, I will do nothing except I reveal it unto my servants, the prophets. You got to go to the prophets to get this understanding, really. And they got it from the Lord. Separating themselves, making themselves despised among men, really living an entirely different life just for us to be able to get the understanding. So when these people think that they're just going to walk into that, right? Think they're going to sit here and say, I accept, Jesus as my Lord and Savior. When you think they're going to have it in that tape? Fuck no. At that time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. This is what's on the horizon, man. This truth is about to be cut off, bro. This truth is about to be cut off. So, get it while you can. We in those days. Shalom.